This is Palworld. It recently came out into the 1.0 version, finally releasing, and it's a game that's being currently at the top of Steam charts if you disregard stuff like CS:GO, which is always there. Now, it's also one of those things that I know absolutely nothing about. It's been on my radar, but I never really checked out anything exactly, except for the fact that Nintendo nearly lost their minds trying to sue these people because they literally made catchable creatures. So, yeah, Nintendo being Nintendo. If you're an Italian man called Mario, Nintendo would most likely just go and fucking shoot you in the head. But that's not why we're here. We're not going to talk about Nintendo and complain about it. Instead, I want to try the game, play it since it's currently on sale, and see what it's actually all about. And, well, if it's any fun in the first place. Now, I do need to warn you a little bit. The recording software did sort of fuck up and just downgraded the quality, so it is a bit choppy at first, but I guarantee you I fixed it until eventually. So, yes, it's going to be much more of a listening thing rather than watching at first. I'm really fucking sorry. I'm not very good at this. The start of this whole journey is pretty much the same as it is with any other survival game. You end up punching trees. Or, in my case, because I just didn't want to hurt my precious little hands, I used a torch. Don't ask me how you can actually mine stone with a torch. No idea. But at this point I have to say it's pretty much just the classic thing. Hit stuff, get stuff, craft stuff. As basic as it could be. Now, very soon afterwards came the turn to catch my first pal, and it was at this point that I started to properly look around. I saw the mountains in the background, these weird dome-like areas, the volcano, the massive Yggdrasil-like tree, and I immediately thought, this game's gonna be pretty damn big. I knew there was a lot of biomes and like 200 pals to collect, but it never occurred to me just how amazing it would all look, or just how much of the world would be visible from the starting area. But, as with most games, we would not really get to that place, at least not yet, so for now, it's time to craft some not Pokeballs, I almost said it again, and I fucked up already like 5 times recording this. They're pal spheres. They're pal spheres. No lawsuit incoming, they're pal spheres. Now, one thing I should also mention is that you level up sort of classically in this game, increasing your stats, but you also purchase technologies, which is something very similar to like Ark Survival Evolved. And obviously, I want to get everything. Like all the decorative pieces, absolutely everything. And the technology tree is kind of huge. There's 80 rows of items, and you need way more levels to actually get all of it. So, yeah, I would be here for a while. Now, I went on to actually go ahead and catch my first pal, which isn't actually all that difficult. These starting ones, they don't actually do much than just literally rush you, so we just beat them up a little bit and throw the pal sphere. And congratulations, the pal is yours. Well, for now. It gets a bit more complicated by the time we get to higher levels, but for now, congratulations, Chickpea. I have a chicken. Um, sure, cool. Now, as time went on, I actually got more pals, which included the lamb ball, the little lamb-looking thing, and they all have their own separate abilities. This guy had a fluffy shield, and I didn't really expect what that meant, but it literally means grabbing onto the fucking lamp and holding it in front of you like a shield while it's crying and wailing around. You literally hold the pal like a meat shield. Now remember this moment because this game is dark as fuck. Now, as we progressed onward, I found the first fast travel statue and a woman with a shotgun. Level 11. She scared me quite a lot, but I figured out that those who have a green health bar are actually friendly, and she's here to like give me advice and whatnot, and I guess serve as a sort of guardian to help me in case I would aggro something I can't quite kill. Now, since the fast travel statue was here, and I didn't really want to progress further because I had no idea how much of this was a tutorial area, So I just wanted to build a base, and I thought, hey, by the sea, right next to a guardian woman, and right next to a fast travel? Quite a nice place for a base. And so, we got to work. And lo and behold, we have ourselves a house. It's small, it's got a bit of a balcony, and I'm gonna add some columns to it, or pillars. I never remember what's the difference. But yeah, for now, it's getting a bit dark, and our first day comes to a conclusion. Honestly, so far, doesn't really feel that unique, to be honest. I'm liking the game, but I'm just thinking, is this really all there is to it? No. No, of course it's not. Keep playing, you idiot. Trust me, it's gonna get better. Now, very soon I found out that there are chests in this game. So it's not all just about running around and, gathering stuff. It's also a bit about exploration. For now, the loot is kind of meh, but eventually I did manage to find much better stuff later on. There's also a heat thing, like you actually need a campfire to keep yourself warm, otherwise you are very slowly dying. It's sort of very Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild-esque, in more ways than one. Trust me, if you know, then you probably know. The next day, I finally set this place up as my base and put Chickpea to work. And here it's a little bit complicated, so I'm just going to very quickly summarize it in case you haven't played the game. Basically, every single one of these pals, not Pokemon, pals, have different skills and different things they can do around the house and around the base, so you can actually automate quite a lot of the processes, including food production, cooking, crafting, logistics, etc. For now, though, Chickpea wasn't really doing much, but eventually we would get a better team. To expand our base, we have these different quests to do, like provide chests for the base and so on. So that's basically another thing that I was kind of going off of, not just the main quest, but also what my base needed and whatever technologies I would have to unlock. So there was quite a lot of base building at first. And when the level increases, so does the area of your base. So this little blue line, that's basically how far away I can build without the building just deteriorating, and how far away my workers are gonna go. Quite simple, really, but elegant. I like it. Not long after, I put my first Lambert to work. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure he's getting some kind of salary. But he was basically a repairman, just repairing whatever was to be repaired around the base, and to also help me craft a bit. There's not much else I can do yet, but that would change as we would discover more pals. Now, as the time went on and I kept on building stuff for my base, I actually realized there's quite a lot of decorative elements in the technology tree as well. So what I planned to do with those was to basically get them. I wanted to get everything. So the plan is I would get decorative parts and build them, almost all of them, and just expand my base to not just be functional, but also look nice. Because let's be honest, this looks sort of like a cottage that your father tells you is gonna look great for a summer vacation, and in reality it's just a rundown shack filled with spiders. Except here it's filled with lambs. Or one lamb, I guess. Now, thanks to the lady with the shotgun that's right outside of my house, I actually figured out that perhaps the best weapons I could have are ranged ones. Because at this point, I thought there is no dodge button in this game. Spoiler alert, there is. I'm just an idiot. But yeah, I thought if I can't dodge and I can only run around with limited stamina, I might as well just grab a bow. I was also introduced at this point to one of the world bosses, the Mammorest, level 38. Yeah, not yet, buddy. Nowhere close. And then I made a terrible decision. An idea spawned on my mind. If I can hunt down pals, can I also hunt down that lady? And could she drop a shotgun? So I thought, you know what? Why not try it? I summoned my strongest pal to help me, shot her, I didn't do anything, shot her again, and all of a sudden she summoned a group of ice agents level 40. Jesus Christ. So all of my pals absolutely scrambled and lost it and just immediately jumped the police officers. Maybe they'll be more lucky, but oh my god, that was an absolute carnage. And I just thought, you know what, I need to get out of there. But then I noticed those pals around my base, they were actually doing some damage to that woman with a shotgun. And I thought, maybe they could bring her down. It sure looked that way. And then I realized the weaker the pal is, the easier it is to capture. Hmm. Could I? Okay. No. Oh! Criminal activity on the way. Yeah, no shit. I'm catching a person. Oh! Uh. Wait. Uh. I I just fucking enslaved a woman with a shotgun. Yep, that's apparently something that you can do in this game. You can literally catch people. And even though they don't have any special abilities like the pals do, they keep their equipment. So now she was my soldier with a shotgun. And second of all, they do have a lot of really cool skills. This one, for example, could both mine and chop trees. I had no pals that could do that. So, now that I have her, might as well put her to work, so yeah, I got her to work. You know, that's a normal thing to do, right? I mean, for a while I would even consider her an employee, but then the game literally told me that since she is technically a pal now, she needs a pal bed. So rather than making a normal bed for a person, I had her sleep in the equivalent of a dog's bed. And like she couldn't even make it all the way upstairs, she just got stuck and I guess exhausted. So she just collapsed and slept on the stairs. Oh my god, I'm a monster. But I mean, slavery sure is addictive. So I thought, hey, so she's pretty cool, but maybe that's just her. What if I tried to catch this guy too? And well, originally I planned to just like try to catch, and this is gonna sound terrible, every human I could. Because like, why not? If it's possible and they are really good workers and the game doesn't punish you for it, why not? I've played plenty of RimWorld. I'm well versed in breaking the Geneva Conventions and doing horrible video game stuff. Video game stuff. So yeah. This one was a bit harder to catch, but yeah. I got myself a farmer as well. Why not? And he's a skilled islander too. Taking islanders to slavery like goddamn American tradition. Oh, well. This game really is dark. And well, since we already got the workforce, might as well make a plantation. Okay, well, it's settled. I'm officially the worst character on this island. Fuck some Team Rocket stuff. This is the real evil side of Palworld. So yeah, I made berry plantations to feed my people, not for profit, just to feed them. And then, made the kidnapped people work there. Yeah, this game's pretty fucked up. But the worst thing is, it's quite complicated to actually automate this sort of stuff. Because you need someone who can actually plant, and the shotgun lady can't. Only the farmer boy can. Some of my pals can plant, but I don't have a pal who could water the berries. And then you need someone to harvest them, as well as transport them and eventually cook them. That's a lot of work, and very few of my workers have the ability to do these things. So for now, they stayed unautomated and sort of idle until, well, I would manage to get someone to do these things for me. I also got an egg. I remember spotting it while the police were chasing me. So now that all was quiet again, I went and grabbed it right before I shot a penguin to death. With everything done on my plantation, I decided it was time to explore the world a bit more, also because the quests were asking me to do so. Now, I had no freaking clue what I was getting myself into. There were towers and waterfalls and all sorts of other pals, but my goal was simple. Make it to a nearby village, basically, and speak to some people there. There were also some marks along the way, like interesting places to visit, but for now, I just focused and just beelined it straight to the village. Once I made it there, I spoke to the village elder, who told me, hey, life is great, but, also dangerous. Why don't you craft yourself a flamethrower? From a pal. Yeah, so it turns out I'm perfectly fine. Everyone in this world is a total nut job. I also learned, thanks to the village, that there are dungeons in this world. And I would eventually clear them, but they were like level 13. I was so underleveled for this. For now, I had my work cut out for me. Flamethrower. For self-defense. Normal. Normal. On my way home, I also called myself a rush roar, which is a boar, and it's aggressive. It's like the first aggressive pal that we ran into, other than, the giant mammoth boss that would absolutely demolish us. So yeah, I definitely wanted to grab them, because they were like the highest level I've met, so yeah, probably a good investment. Now call me stupid, call me an idiot, because I actually thought, hey, why don't we just try the mammoth? Like, if I was lucky enough to capture and enslave a person, how about trying this mammoth? 2% chance. Oh, right. So, as it turns out, he was way too powerful for me to grab, and so I just thought, hey, maybe I'll weaken him by shooting him. Great idea, Vinny. Yeah, very... Oof. Okay, very, 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 very bad idea. Okay, it's launching bombs. How much can I hurt it? No damage, 1 damage. Run. Eventually, I did manage to lose the mammoth, and I found another egg, and also this really mysterious tree. And also a beautiful, gorgeous view. Just look at that. That looks like an oil rig in the background. And you can't just swim there, your stamina would run out. So I bet I would need like a pal that can swim or fly. It was exciting, but the fruit of this tree was also exciting. Because, as I learned, these types of fruits are actually the things that allow your pals to learn other skills, which would come in handy later, but not for now. So this was pretty much my first couple of days in Palworld. I have to say, this game absolutely shocked me. Granted, you might have already expected this game to not be the same as the happy Pokemon games when you saw, literally on the front cover, a giant fucking Pikachu-esque monster with a machine gun. So yeah, naturally, this game is a little bit darker. It is also quite realistic, and that's exactly what I like about it, to be honest, because if there are literally pal spheres that can capture creatures, why couldn't they also capture humans? It is considered inhumane, as the Steam achievements suggest, but it is possible. It is also absolutely possible to use a soft PAL, like a padding, like a shield, or to just grab a fire-breathing PAL and use them as a flamethrower. It's very realistic. It doesn't hold back on the fact that even Pokemon can be quite dark as a franchise. So yeah, I enjoyed it quite a lot, and I might do some more of these in the near future. But until then, I hope you had some fun, and see you next time. Maybe.